how about we talk about the Nautilus and whether it will be reliable? I have my concerns. It's being made in China. So I'm not just being biased because the Nautilus will no longer be made in Canada at the Ontario plant. That doesn't bother me one bit because it's awesome. The Ontario plant is losing all its models, and that's fantastic news. Ford is giving us fantastic news in dropping every single model being produced at the Canadian plant because they're being replaced by electrified models. So they could be hybrids, they could be plug-ins, they could be all electric. And Ford's investing a lot of money. I think it was to the tune of 1.2 billion. And how Ford put it is, basically they're saying that they've got really qualified, quality workers over in Ontario at that factory. So they're gonna retool the whole factory, throw in some new training. They're gonna get all the new models. And well, what happens to those other models that were made there? Well, the Nautilus is going off to China. So that gives me my reliability concern. So I got to get out of this mode here. Stick with me, folks. I have concerns, but I also have some very positive things to share.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, yes.
I love it.
Thank you. I love it when you jump into the show. I've told you, don't be afraid to interrupt me. Otherwise I talk all the time. So what do you like about it?
I'm not the pro here, so that's why I let you talk more.
Your opinion is more valuable than mine because you're an attractive, charismatic, wonderfully charactered, wonderful personality woman. And you know about design. You've designed our home, and you're just fantastic when it comes to design. So tell us what you think about the design.
Yeah, I loved the Nautilus before because of the grille, and even if they change a little bit the front of the Nautilus, I still love it so much. It's not that far away from the other one, so it's not a complete refacing, but yeah, I love it. It's more like a sport look. Maybe they want to attract younger people because
you didn't read the article, and that's exactly what the article says, so you're getting points.
A few points for me. Yeah, because before we often see people more older driving Lincolns, mostly, not all the time, and then I guess it could compete Audi, maybe. Audi brand.
Oh, Audi. I understood oldie. And
yeah,
I was like,
in French we say Audi. So
what do you mean it's going to compete with oldie? Who is this oldie? And why is his opinion so important to you? I know it's not your dad. You don't consider him old. I don't consider him old. So who is this oldie you speak of?
And I'm surprised to find that color on the Nautilus. Normally we see more white, gray, and black, neutral color. So yeah, it's a younger touch.
Younger touch, and wait until we get to talking about the inside. But yes, absolute younger touch. Of course, it'll still always have the bottom down here. You have these active air dams. Don't break those on cement blocks. They help you with your fuel efficiency. You're using less fuel by bringing down the air dam. And when your dam comes down, well, it's good for aerodynamics. But yes, this is the new Nautilus. It's got Ford Authority. Unfortunately, I love the site, but it's now completely ruined by excessive ads that pop up every 15 seconds. But this is going to be made in China. They're talking about a 3D front grille design with optional H2 pixel headlamps and illuminated star logo. So that's all very cool. So the illuminated star logo, you currently have that available on the Navigator and the Aviator. Very, very cool. Now for the interior, Marie, do you want to tell us what you think about this interior? I want you to take note that you've got a full wraparound screen, and then you've got your touch screen right down here, bigger than ever.
That's futuristic, but for the rest, for the seat covers and the leather color, the brown leather color, this seems to me that they preserve what they had before in the Lincoln brand. But yeah, we see more technology, the big screen in the dash. So yeah, that's surprising. They mix the old and the new together, I guess. But it's
new shape to the steering wheel.
Yeah,
I'm noticing.
Yeah, it's
You still have your
different.
piano key transmission down here. So we'll zoom in on that. You got your piano key transmission down here, it would appear. But then you've got a dial here. So the piano keys, maybe they won't use it for the transmission the way it is for the Corsair. Maybe they'll use the roller. But I'm hoping they go with the piano. I like the touches of metal. You know, for the around the sound system here. You've got touches of metal in the middle. So less wood than before, more metal. That'll draw in a younger crowd. Yeah, and it's hard to notice, but right on the seats down here, you actually have white or cream colored striping going along the seats. And it's sharp. It's sharp. Sorry for it gets awfully pixelated when I go in, and Lily is distracting me because she's actually having a wrestling match with her bed. Winston's upstairs. So because the two in there, we found out it's WrestleMania on the show when they are both in this room. Now, Ford Authority is saying, yes, designed to appeal to younger customers. You picked that up all on your own just by looking at the design. This is why you're the design expert here. And they want to rejuvenate this. They're talking about the flat top steering wheel. And yes, we've got the transmission. There's our answer right here. The keys now in metal, not this black lustre, black gloss. Thank you for helping me with my English. Black gloss like you currently see on the Corsair. And actually one thing we didn't like about the Hyundai Santa Cruz is we didn't like all the black gloss. It looks good until you use the vehicle, and then you've got these grease fingerprints everywhere. I don't need people being able to pick up my fingerprint that easily and then applying it to a murder weapon, and then I'm in jail the rest of my life. Not telling anyone how to frame people, but you know, that's not what we do here on the show, so I'm going to change the subject. So they're saying that the center touchscreen, I called it a 12-inch. I guess I like to round up. It's 11.1 inches. Shame on me. And it has that huge screen along the lines. Now, what's incredible, I have a colleague, a dealership owner who currently has a Lightning. And when he saw this Nautilus on reveal, he put in his order. It was instant. And he's a young guy. So he's even... I think I look young, but he is younger than me. But don't think that I'm, only 30 years old. But he is younger than me, and this definitely appeals to him and his young family. So that's what he's going to be getting. They're calling it coast-to-coast screen. It's going to have BlueCruise 1.2. One thing I can say about my BlueCruise is it's been touch and go. It's better. I'm going to tell you, I used the BlueCruise this morning going to work and last night. And I don't know if someone from Ford watches the show, let us know, because I can't believe it. Last live, I talked about how the Ford F-150 Lightning, its BlueCruise, did some braking, unappreciated. I talked about how, it doesn't like these are my morning eyes, and it was telling me that my eyes were closed and to watch the road, and then I was yelling at it eventually saying, I am watching the road. This is as much as I can open my eyes in the morning. And I have blue eyes, so especially anytime it's sunny out, blue eyes, I go into protective mode. So anyways, the vehicle thought my eyes were closed, and eventually it went from screaming at me to hitting the brakes. I went instantly from 120 to 115, and it doesn't sound like much, but because it was instant, it really shook me forward, hurt my lower back all day. I'm still a little bit mad about it, but it's cool. It's as if someone from Ford watches this show, because there is a program that went into my vehicle, because now
it's adjusted now.
A lot of the things that were bugging me are adjusted. The BlueCruise didn't scream at me it didn't constantly non-stop scream at me for not looking at the vehicle, and it actually said it when I wasn't looking. I had kind of daydreaming and I was off to the side. So Ford is making BlueCruise better. It worked well. It got me home. I do look forward to when I can one day hit the blinker and it changes lanes for me. Instead, now I change lanes and the BlueCruise goes off and then it goes back on. But some things with the touchscreen that were bothering me, guess what? Now, instead of having that silly, heated seats, being this hard to control bar, you just press on it and it moves up 1 or down 1. You press on it again, so you can kind of triple.
Like many other Ford's models.
Like many other Ford
that
models.
It was working well.
And yes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We like that. Thank you for bringing it back to us. The fan and just the general look of the fan and the heated seats look better. And now my channels, when I hit my music, I get, the channels all in big, which version 1 of that system, I don't ever recall actually having that, or I just couldn't easily find it. But now it's very easy to find on my home screen. I've got a little square for satellite radio. I click it, and then I've got a big old square for all my channels. So by the time the Nautilus comes to us, I'm sure the BlueCruise will be perfect. It's gotten a whole lot better because I absolutely loathed it. I was very angry. I wanted to return my keys on the Lightning. And then I was like, well, this is just silly because I love the rest of the vehicle. This is just one feature. I just won't use BlueCruise. But no, I'll be using BlueCruise now. So thank you, Ridgeview, for the encouragement. I sometimes feel bad being negative. So, and it's negative to very positive, but I always appreciate the support. So let us know what you think about the side and back, Marie. I need a drink of water.
Okay, the first thing that attract my eyes is the beautiful mags on that car, so I love it. You know that I always love the original mags.
You see a vehicle with bad mags and you're like, I don't like that vehicle. It doesn't look good. Then a week later, I'm shopping cars. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this one? And you're like, that's a good looking vehicle. I'm like, it's the same one from last week.
Yeah.
I don't forget.
And the other thing I see is that they made the look, how can I say that? It's like they want to show that it's all windows till the back. It's all black, like it's just a big window. So yeah, that's futuristic, I guess. On that, I'm not sure if I love it that much, but it's okay.
I'll pause you. Futuristic, my dad's 1964 Chevrolet Nova SS hardtop 2-door. It was a hardtop, and the top couldn't come off, but it was a hardtop, and it had exactly that look when the windows were down. So it's an old style, but most people maybe haven't even seen that model of vehicle. A lot of people weren't alive back then, I guess. So it's neat when you can kind of bring elements back from the past into the present and really make it look sharp. I am liking these lights, how they kind of go down here. So I'll zoom in on it. You've got the light down here, kind of slanting down. I think that looks really good because it also matches the slant down of the black on the bumper down here. And then you also have an angle here. So Ford is very wisely using angles and not just throwing triangles everywhere like the Santa Cruz.
Don't start the triangle again.
I can get angry about things for like 30 minutes straight. So I will leave the triangle talk to just that. But Ford is mixing well round shapes with angles. And you see, what I love about this is you don't see any one shape on this vehicle. You don't, other than the wheels, okay, that's a full circle, but often it's not full shapes, it's partial shapes that really blend and mix together well. So I think this is a gorgeous vehicle.
Yeah, and the
handles,
exhausts are beautiful too.
Yeah,
the back.
Yeah. The exhaust, absolutely.
Sport
and
look
then
too.
Again, it's not quite a rectangle. Everything is just not quite a shape. And the handles are up on the top. So kind of tucked away handles.
That's special.
You still have your little chrome bar down here, and on some models that'll probably be black when you go with, let's say, a monochromatic package if they bring that back. You've got, still on the side here, written in a little longer than before, the Nautilus brand. So the lights in the front, if you want to slide your head over just a little, honey, the lights in the front are going in one angle, and then it's the opposing angle for the back lights. So everything fits together, but not in the way, not in a lazy way. It's easy to imagine a very rounded off vehicle or a very squared off vehicle, but it's hard to have all sorts of not quite shapes and angles blend in and come together so well. I love this design. It gets my 10 out of 10 stamp of approval. Ford did a great job with this, and without just completely erasing the Nautilus. They didn't just, whiteboard it and come back with something way, completely opposite. If you see this going down the road, you just go, wow, the new Nautilus is gorgeous, instead of being, what is that? Who makes that? It's nice to have some heritage carry along. But it's made in China. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be unreliable, because you have different grades of quality when it comes to made in China. Just like we know this for a fact now, we've seen it. There used to be the reputation of anything made in Mexico is garbage. No, there's levels of quality. Mexico makes some quality products. Time has told the truth when it comes to the Ford Fusion, and the real deal behind the Ford Fusion is that is a very well-built, reliable model. It's made in Mexico. So some things that come out of China are good or great. Let's hope this will be one of them. What we do know is the powertrains. You've got, the continuation of the 2-liter EcoBoost turbo, generating 250 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. I thought that would be 280, but oh well. But then you have the hybrid version with the same engine, but also a 100 kilowatt electric motor, and that should be making about 310 horsepower. So that's going to be awesome. And of course, that electric motor will add torque. So that's going to be a very fun setup, and it's going to be flowing. That power is going to be going to the wheels via a CVT gearbox. So let's hope it's that planetary gear set, the eCVT, because originally Ford, I was actually at training centers for Ford employees, where employees and other people, where their pamphlets they were giving out were also written CVT. And I was raising my hand. I'm like, hey, this pamphlet's wrong. It's an eCVT, and you guys aren't talking about how it's a planetary gear set. You need to push this. Smart people don't like CVT, and this isn't a CVT transmission. It's an eCVT, and it's very, very different. There's a huge difference in reliability, quality, just durability, everything. CVTs are generally pretty bad, and I think that the auto market has gone to them because they're inexpensive. They're not doing it for the buyer, they're doing it for themselves. But the planetary gear set, of course, a chain or a belt costs a lot less than a big old honking gears. So anyways, eCVT, fantastic. Hope it'll be that. There's a look on the back end, Marie.
Yeah, it looks like the one before, so I'm happy that they didn't change it that much, just a little, because it was already beautiful, like it was.
I love to watch the Nautilus come, but boy, do I ever enjoy watching it drive away. That's a little modification on a pickup line. I'm sure you've heard that pickup line before. Love to see you come, but enjoy watching you walk away. So there's I guess you never have heard it. Well,
probably, but
shame on me.
I don't remember that much.
Just because we're a long-term couple doesn't mean I shouldn't throw a pickup line at you once in a while, so shame on me.
It's written the color there, yeah, that was my next question. Which color we could have there?
So you can announce them.
Okay, so the red carpet, I don't know, maybe it's this red?
It is.
Okay, perfect. Diamond red, oh, too much red, we have a lot of choices. Chroma caviar, what is that? Blue Panther, oh, it's
Blue Panther.
It's all the name I didn't know. It's not Area 51,
reminds me of
Cactus Gray. No.
Reminds me of the clone called Sex Panther, but that was from Anchorman. But this is Blue Panther, having nothing to do with the two.
Black Onyx, Medium Space Gray, Smoke Truffle, and they said Black Onyx and Allura Blue. Oh, maybe Allura Blue sounds nice.
So yeah, and they'll come back with a jet appearance package, which is monochromatic package. Maybe that's just a French thing. I'm probably getting mixed up in languages. It probably has always been jet appearance package. So my apologies for earlier in the video where I said monochromatic package. And there'll be an available 22-inch gloss black wheel with black accents. So I think we've got a recipe for success here. My concern is this Chang'an Ford Hangzhou assembly plant in China. Let's hope that, Ford puts a lot when it comes to training, to quality standards, and let's hope that the new business philosophy, Kaizen philosophy, the Japanese business philosophy of gradually improving things, hopefully that comes to this factory as well.
And maybe people will have to wait longer because it needs to come from China. When I was at Toyota, vehicle that was in that place took a lot. I don't know if it's in months, but it took a long time.
Oh yeah,
to
no, it's
came
in
here
months.
with train and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Vehicles, when you
After that.
send your order, let's say Hyundai or Kia, you send your order to factory. You know, salespeople in my area were telling clients, you know, 3 months, and you know, very lucky when it was 6 months. But there's a lot of also because of waiting lists that those salespeople didn't want to tell their clients about. Is actually 2 to 3 years on anything that's hybrid. Now it's 3 years and up. But generally, if the factory's ready to build your vehicle because your dealership has an allotment and it's your dealership's turn to get that allotment, to get that build, you throw it in. Well, if it's coming from Korea, it's like your brother-in-law, you're probably looking at, you know, 5-6 months. So I think some things coming from China will be definitely talking in the multiple months. I'll keep you all updated on that story.